to get some common sense from Craig Bolanos on inflation. Who better than you, Craig, to put into simple terms what's happening with the economy? We know that the labor market is still strong. We also know that inflation numbers are continuing to fall. Take us inside the numbers, Craig, and what this could mean for the economy and why it might not mean a slowdown.
Well, Angela, let's break down those important inflation data numbers that we just received on the 10th of May. First, in big bold letters, PCE, personal consumption expenditure, that's the Fed's preferred method. It was down from 4.7 to 4.4 in the current period. That's trending in the right direction. Part number two, CPI, the consumer price index, came in at 4.9. Now, I'm not celebrating 4.9, but that is below the 5% psychological level on a year-over-year basis. What changed? Shelter costs. They're still stubborn, but airline prices went down, food went down, core utility rates went down, and new vehicle prices, oh, thank heavens, they finally went down too. What's the bottom line on all this? Well, the most recent inflation data all but confirms the fact that we stand on the precipice of the Federal Reserve probably pausing.
What does all of this mean for investors?
Well, Angela, let's unpack the data a bit. And the first big thing was housing. With this inflation print, I think economists are betting now that the stubborn housing prices, specifically the rental market, is finally going to start to abate. Why? There's evidence that we have some strong multifamily construction activity coming down the pipe. So what does that mean? The hopeful growth here that we can see in the condo and the apartment construction means there's going to be more units available for rent in the months to come this fall. That should translate into lower inflation data because housing and shelter is such a big component of how it's calculated. Number two, I got to pinch myself. Am I dreaming? Food finally is getting a little bit more affordable. I mean, the index for fruit, veggies, meat, poultry, fish, heck, even eggs, it's finally starting to decline. Now, I don't know about you, but when I roll up to the food store, it's still way too expensive, but at least we're finally seeing some abatement in the year over year. And we got the price declines. You chalk all that up. What does it mean for investors? Well, I think the first thing is we can all look and say the outlook for inflation, I just breathed a sigh of relief. It looks more promising, especially after the last 2 months of data. Why is it promising? Maybe the Fed's really going to take this wait and see approach going forward. Maybe we're finally going to get the aforementioned pause. I didn't say a pivot. I'm not forecasting rate cuts. I just said maybe a pause coming in the month of June. And I think all of that is going to be refreshing. We still have a lot of nervousness, a lot of tension in the banks, the regional banks, etc. But when we look past that, technology's doing good, and this is still a two-horse race. What's going to drop the quickest? Is inflation going to drop faster than earnings? If so, the soft landing idea, the mild recession, remains on the table. But for all of us as investors, I think it's important that we remember the following. Number one, we do not invest in the market we hope we're going to have. Number two, we never invest in the market we fear we have. But what do? We really do invest based on what the market's giving us. And if we look at what the market's giving us, there are quality names that remain on sale, and starting yields in the bond market are definitely here. And that is fantastic news for everybody because there's a place to hide out, collect some good interest, and we haven't had fantastic alternatives like that legitimately for some 16 years. I'm Craig Bolanos, the CEO and founder of Wealth Management Group. We exist to help people get retired and stay retired. I invite you to connect with us online. Go to investwithwmg.com.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.